This wasn't just a boxing match. It was a clash of two men fighting for pride, legacy, and survival inside the unforgiving square circle. On one side stood Manny Pacquiao, a global icon, a legend of 8 weight divisions, a fighter whose story began on the poverty-stricken streets of the Philippines and grew into one of boxing's greatest legacies. But now, he was no longer the hungry young lion. He was the aging warrior, carrying years of brutal wars on his shoulders. On the other side, Barrios, the fearless Texan, taller, longer, younger, and hungrier. For him, this fight wasn't just about a win. It was about taking down a giant and rewriting his own destiny. What unfolded wasn't the story the media told you, nor the highlight clips you have seen. This is the honest reality of Pacquiao vs. Barrios, a story drenched in drama, shocking truths, and raw emotions that most fans never witnessed. The weeks leading up to the fight were filled with electricity. Pacquiao's camp in Los Angeles was buzzing with both anticipation and doubt. At 42 years old, whispers grew louder. Could he still keep up with the younger lions? Was this fight a mistake? Even his sparring sessions became media spectacles, with journalists dissecting every missed punch, every delayed step, and every bead of sweat as proof that time was catching up with him. Yet behind closed doors, Pacquiao trained like a man possessed, running the streets before dawn, shadowboxing in dark gyms, and carrying the same hunger he had as a teenager, who once sold donuts just to survive. Barrios, meanwhile, carried his own fire. Taller and naturally bigger, he knew the world doubted him. Critics said he was just another stepping stone in Pacquiao's path, but Barrios saw something else, an opportunity to shock the world. In his camp, his team drilled strategy after strategy, using his reach, keeping Pacquiao at bay, and punishing him with youthful energy. Quietly, Barrios built the belief that the legend across from him was just a man, and men could be broken. The media fueled the storm. Headlines screamed about Pacquiao's age, his politics, his divided focus. Rumors spread of injuries, old wounds resurfacing, and his grueling double life as a senator and fighter. Cameras captured Barrios' calm confidence and Pacquiao's laser-eyed focus, setting the stage for a fight that promised to be both historic and controversial. The weigh-ins were tense. Pacquiao looked lean, almost too lean, while Barrios towered over him, a physical reminder of the mountain Pacquiao had to climb. When the two faced off, the crowd erupted, not knowing whether they were about to witness a legend's resurrection or his downfall. The bell rang, and instantly the energy inside the arena shifted from anticipation to controlled chaos. Manny Pacquiao, the seasoned veteran with over 2 decades of boxing wars behind him, moved with that familiar bounce, light on his toes, eyes locked, scanning every angle. Across from him, Barrios, taller, longer, younger, carried himself with a mix of determination and tension. He wasn't just fighting Pacquiao. He was standing against history, against an icon who had broken every barrier. The crowd erupted with each feint, each step, like thunder rolling across the rafters. The opening round set the tone. Pacquiao, even at his age, exploded forward with his signature bursts, sharp jabs, sudden combinations, darting in and out before Barrios could react. The speed shocked many ringside. Commentators who questioned whether Pacquiao still had it fell silent as his gloves cracked through the air. But Barrios wasn't folding. He used his jab to keep distance, circling, trying to frustrate Pacquiao and force him into mistakes. In these early exchanges, you could see the tug of war, Pacquiao's experience versus Barrios' youth. By the middle rounds, the fight escalated into pure drama. Pacquiao landed clean shots, left straights that split through Barrios' guard, and body hooks that drew gasps from the audience. Each punch carried the echo of his legacy, yet Barrios showed resilience that no one expected. He absorbed punishment, countered with rights, and shockingly, backed Pacquiao up on the ropes in moments where the crowd held their breath. Blood trickled, sweat sprayed, and the narrative shifted. This wasn't a one-sided showcase. This was a test of wills. Then came the turning point. In the later rounds, Pacquiao unleashed a flurry that reminded the world why he was called a once-in-a-generation fighter. A 5-punch combination stunned Barrios, sending him stumbling into the corner. The arena erupted, as if witnessing a legend turn back the clock. Cameras caught fans on their feet, some in tears, realizing they were witnessing history, perhaps one of Pacquiao's final flashes of brilliance. Barrios, however, refused to fall. He fired back with defiance, his youth giving him stamina to survive the storm. The final rounds were sheer drama, a back-and-forth war where Pacquiao's every punch was cheered like a national triumph, and Barrios' resilience earned him unexpected respect. Both men pushed past exhaustion, trading leather with raw determination. When the final bell rang, The crowd roared, not just for Pacquiao, but for the spectacle itself. This wasn't just a fight. It was a clash of eras, a passing storm that would be remembered far beyond the scorecards. When the final bell rang, both fighters raised their hands in defiance of exhaustion. The judges' scorecards were the only thing left to decide the outcome, but in truth, the fans already knew they had witnessed something unforgettable. The crowd roared, giving both men a standing ovation. Pacquiao for proving once again why he is one of the greatest of all time, and Barrios for refusing to crumble under the pressure of a living legend. As the announcer read the decision, tension filled the air. The verdict declared Pacquiao the winner, but the real story was far deeper. Pacquiao's hand was raised, yet Barrios walked away with respect and validation that his name belonged among the elite. Even in defeat, his stock rose dramatically. The cameras panned to Pacquiao, who smiled, waved to the crowd, and then turned serious. His post-fight interview wasn't about glory, it was about gratitude. He thanked his fans, his opponent, and acknowledged that at his age, every fight was a blessing. It was the type of humility that reminded the world why Pacquiao isn't just a champion in the ring, but also in the hearts of millions. Barrios, on the other hand, delivered one of the most emotional interviews of his career. He admitted that fighting Pacquiao was a dream, and that going toe-to-toe with him was proof that he could compete at the highest level. His words resonated with young fighters around the world. This wasn't just about boxing, it was about daring to chase impossible dreams. Social media exploded instantly. Fans debated the scorecards, some arguing Barrios had moments that could have swung the fight in his favor, others praising Pacquiao for once again turning back the clock. Hashtags like Pacquiao Forever and hashtag Barrios Respect trended worldwide. Analysts declared the bout a modern classic, a fight that didn't just add to Pacquiao's legacy, but also built a new chapter for Barrios.